Alright folks, so this is time to start on this next and final cab that I have got. This is the third of these poker cabs, and as you can see, I've already started stripping it. I've used the coin door there for the other cab, for the Kung Fu Master, and I've already made, let me take this out, I've already made a monitor holder thing, whatever it's called. There's a couple of issues here. First, this piece here doesn't go anywhere. I think it's screwed from the side. So I'm gonna have to trim it maybe by an inch here, so that the art comes, right and flush, and because this is vertical. Anyway, so I'm probably gonna have to cut a bit here. I'm not too worried about the side, but here I'm gonna have to trim it so the bezel fits nice and properly, and so it doesn't overlap under it. I've already done a piece for the monitor here to hold the monitor. So this was horizontal. So I've done the same as I did for my bomb jack cab. I've taken a template from this piece for the size, and then I've just centered the cutout for the monitor, so it falls vertical and it's nice and centered and somewhat properly aligned. And this will work well, I know now, because I've done it in bomb jack. There's a couple of things though. This was a bit too low, because I've used exactly the same template as the bomb jack, and this was a bit too low, so I'm gonna have to put some pieces of wood here just to kind of lift it back up. This raises a couple of problems. First, I'm gonna have to trim that same amount here, because my door should come here, so maybe half an inch. I'll just cut an inch off that. This will be fine, but we still have that same problem with the monitor sticking out, and because it's different chassis and different layout, this guy is sticking out and I can't really cut the chassis because I'll cut the board. I'm gonna try one of two things. I'm gonna try to change. I have another one of those frames, so I'll put the monitor on that frame, see if that changes anything, because I can actually either secure it by that screw there, and then there's a little wedge here, or these guys on a different frame. So I'm going to use another frame for this one, and see if that's better, and then see if I can actually just move that board a bit forward and cut this, or actually no, I can't do that. I cannot do that because, well, it's that board that's just that entire size. The other board, it was a different chassis and different monitor. Was it a bit smaller? So I'll see. I might have a different monitor and chassis. This one needs an isolation transformer, I think. I'm not sure. I see a big transformer over there. This is a Cortec KT1401. Got it from a friend, by the way, thank you very much. And he changed the tube as well, but I haven't tried to power it on. I'll probably just use an ISO transformer just in case. It doesn't hurt to have one, and then I don't have to worry about it again if this monitor craps out and I have to replace it by one that needs an ISO. But that doesn't solve that problem for this, so I think I'm not gonna have any choice here. I'm gonna have to cut out a hole there in this guy and create a little sort of box on the outside. It won't look pretty, but it'll look alright, I suppose. But I don't think I have much of a choice in this case. Yeah, I'll have to think about that, but yeah, it's definitely not gonna fit. As you can see, it's overlapping by probably 2 inches. Like, that board is too big. The option would be to move the board somewhere else, but I'm gonna be limited by the size of the wires and all that kind of stuff. So it's a trade-off putting those vertically. They're completely designed for horizontal monitors, and when you put them vertically, it just changes the aspect ratio and all that. So that's just the way it is. But we'll work around that. For now, I'm just gonna fill those. So there's no metal cover on this guy, interestingly, so it's all wood like the bomb jack one. So I'm just gonna fill those holes. I'll probably use the same method I used this time with just wood and glue, and then fill the rest with isopalm filler. And I'm just going to wedge, I've started here, you can see, wedge these holes a bit to prevent them from just pushing them and popping them down. So I'll probably just score a bit on the outside, a bit more, and then I'll do that for every hole there, and then fill those with that mix of wood glue and that guy. Okay, let's get going. Okay, there's always a few days in between these, and I'm only able to do small bits one at a time. Unfortunately, I don't really have time to set up and film them, so I can only show you. But I lifted the monitor here, just put a couple of pieces of wood. I'm going to paint this black as well, just to keep everything tidy. So the monitor now is sort of nice and center. I put the art, I received the art with Kung Fu Master and decided to put it up here already because, I don't know, couldn't resist. Looks really good, I have to say. So the monitor now is nice and centered. I'm gonna have to make obviously sort of a cache. So I've done that with the bomb jack cab, if you remember. So I'm gonna take that as a template and cut out in some flexible thick cardboard. Don't know what it's called. It's kind of chippy sort of cardboard type of stuff. I'll go there, so it'll hide all those and it'll stay nice and black. And then I'm going to do something that I've been wanted to do as well. I'll do that in Kung Fu Master, but I have a couple of old Philips monitor that I only got them for the tube because the chassis doesn't allow to be used in the arcade cabinets, and these are still cheap. I still find them cheap, so I'm going to use them for the tube to replace my my other tubes when I'm sick with the burn. But I can use the frame, the edge of the frame, just to have a nice and tidy edge like that, and it'll look great. So I'm going to see if I can find a way to cut that out. I will most likely film that then as well, and the cutout, the cardboard cutout. I might keep a template of that just in case. Anyway, I'm rambling. The other thing I've done is I've cut here this bit here because it was actually overlapping with the edge here. So we're gonna have to find a solution for this down the line. It'd probably be the thing I do last, to be honest. And here I have the Romstar. So Ollie offered me to vectorize the artwork. He hadn't that done for 1942, but the thing about 1942 is that it was an upgrade kit as far as I know, so it doesn't really matter. There wasn't an original cab, if you will. It was always a cab from somewhere else, so that's a good thing about it. So was bomb jack, so it's great. It doesn't actually matter what cab you put it in. And sometimes it would come with the Romstar thing, so that's what I'm gonna put here instead of the original 1942 art. I used the Romstar art, and for the control panel, I have it here, and it's essentially the 1943 control panel that I've rethemed to 1942, changed the colors because I think this was it orange, or can't remember now what the colors of orange and blue, can't remember. And then there was two players, one player here, one player here, so I just put the player central because 1942 is a one player, well, it can be two player, but it's one after the other, so it's not a co-op sort of gameplay. So I've changed that as well, just one player, it'll be one joystick, and the one player, two player buttons will be here, and the other button will be here. So I'm just I'm keeping that here just to flatten it a bit. This is the control panel now. Should be nice and smooth. I've just painted it black. I'll sand it back down a bit just to get rid of most of the remaining bumps. There's still a few. I'll do my best to tidy this out. Okay, update on this guy. So I've mentioned before, of the art here, I've put the Romstar side art. I'm not sure if I like it, but I think I have it. I better use it because I do not really have anywhere else to use it. And this was a Romstar upgrade kit, so it's sort of suitable.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Also, the adhesive on this isn't great, so it might just peel off on its own anyway. The paper was actually very crumpled, and yeah, so we'll see. I started plugging in stuff already. So this monitor here, I thought would need a isolation transformer, but there's one there already, and it takes it's a free voltage monitor, so it takes anything. This is a Cortec KT1401M. It's a standard model. It's like an OEM type of thing, and then different companies used it and put their name on it. I started wiring the switching power supply, and I'm just reusing this old plate here because it was in the original cab. Saved me having to rewire the ends. There's a filter here. There's already fuses, so I might as well just use that. And well, good news is it passed the smoke test, and we've got our lights there connected already. I have here from the old harness as well. I have the speakers, so I'm gonna keep working. I'm not sure where I'll put the board, but I think here might actually be a nice place to put a slot for the board, and free all that area around here, and keep working. The other thing I need to do is I'll probably do that next. Wire all the buttons and then worry about where I'm going to put the game, because at least we'll have a working game. The monitor is working. I won't leave it on like that for too long though. Okay, let's keep working. And there you go. It's running. There's actually one issue: is my adapter, I think, is shorted. I need to check either that or the game has actually a problem on the button one. It's firing constantly, so I'm going to check my adapter. My adapter wasn't exactly good to start with, so could be a problem there. I did make some modifications to it as well, so I might have just broken. It was just falling apart. But this is the back of it here. Let me see if I can just bring some light. There you go. So it still looks a bit messy. I need to tidy all those cables here, but with our board here, I've reused that sort of power section with the filter and the fuses. I didn't have much connecting to do for the speakers. The wires were there, so I just had to just wire them up. It just needs a dust off. I have my switcher there. It's all very accessible, actually. I like this layout. So yeah, I just need to tidy those cables. Interestingly, I had the video signal on this adapter wasn't grounded either, so I had to just ground it. And I did notice that on my test rig, because there it's grounded on the test rig. I just need to tidy those cables there. And this is the front. What's cool here is there's a little button here, and if I've connected that to my coin, so it coins up for me as soon as I press it. So it's grand. I can tap off that as well once I have the coin door, and start playing. So it's all playing. Interestingly, the 2-player version, you only play on the one board. Like, there's no simultaneous 2-player game. I need to actually switch the dip switches so it doesn't play in cocktail mode. It plays in the same way, otherwise that's not very good. But so I've wired all the buttons to everything here, so player 1, player 2, or player 1, player 2 can play off that, whether you're left-handed, right-handed. This custom artwork here came out really well. I'm really happy with it. Because 1942, I probably said that earlier, but 1942 didn't have custom artwork for the control panel, so I used the 1943 and made something up, replaced some of the elements, and changed the color scheme just to match the logo, and put the 1942 logo. And Ollie at artshop.com did a really, really nice job printing those. So it all came out really well, really happy with it. The only thing is I don't have a yellow button. I need a yellow button. That was the only one I have, so if somebody has one, let me know, because I'm looking for one. But other than that, it looks really good. I'm really happy with it. So I still need to fit the coin door. I had to sharpen the angles here because my coin door wouldn't fit. It had very square sharp angles. Right now I just need to treat it and repaint it, just do a bit of a restoration. So we'll probably film that. The rest I wasn't filming much of it because it's all very similar. So we need the back door here, which has I just need to sand. I needed to patch it. I sanded it and need to repaint it, so we'll do that as well. You know, I knew there was something else I forgot to show, but let me get these out. I'd made just something to hide. So I just used the template from the other cab and just cut it's kind of the sort of thick cardboard thing. Just painted that black because otherwise we can see the holes and the gaps there. So I made one of these. That's very I think the original cab didn't have one, or it had one. No, actually the original cab didn't have one because the monitor came right up here, and it was horizontal. And I used, this was a grey, but I cut the surround on the monitor where I got some of the tubes that I got. Not this tube, but I actually salvaged a few monitors, 14-inch monitors, and save the tubes of that. So I'm gonna have to find a way to just secure it a bit better so it stays exactly in place, but it does look a lot tidier. The purpose of these is just to make everything black and tidy, so you don't see through. This won't be a problem because we'll have our door afterwards, but from this angle it all looks fairly black and doesn't distract from the screen. Alright, so I got the coin door there, just sanded them down, repainted them, cleaned all the parts from it. This was actually just stuck, so now it's nice and loose. Cleaned it as much as I could. There's a little paper inside these. You can actually push it. It's a little slot here, and you can push these out. But yeah, like the 25 cents. It actually works now in Europe because we have the euro cents. So it's cool to have these, although these were definitely a dollar cents. And you can see here in the assembly, so this is how the assembly works here, but you have this little thing here that limits what type of coin you could put in. So I'm not going to put these back in there, so we can just use whatever coin we want. I'll see, I might just, or could I resize them to kind of euro 25 cents? Would it make sense? Probably not. I just wanted to accept whatever we want to throw in there. I don't have coin mechanics yet for it, but when I do, I'll be able to accept whatever. So I'm just going to put this back together and then put the door frame back in. I had to use to just glue little bits of wedges and things like that, so the door would actually just fit flush. This is how many pieces of wood I had, but it'll do fine, and once it's covered we won't even see it. But the question is how to fix it, and there's no holes here for to screw anything in. Well, there's a few on this side. This is actually to screw the door in, and I'm not sure exactly how to proceed. I might actually use those to fix them in place, and maybe use some epoxy on this side here. I might actually do that. Just use some epoxy resin just to secure it in place. Actually, it will wedge in place nicely, but just to make sure that it's nice and secure, and it doesn't move once it's in place. So I might just do that. So yeah, let's keep working. The other thing I want to do is I have these opaque pieces of plexiglass, and I'm gonna cut one to size and put it there. It limits some of the glare. I did some tests already, and it's actually just sorry, all you see is my ugly face. All what you can get So what you'll get is a nice, just opaque thing. You won't really see the screen, only when it's on, and I sort of like that. It has a much nicer effect. It's nicer on your eyes as well. It doesn't have that glare, that harsh glare that CRTs can have sometimes. So I will do that afterwards. So first I'm gonna finish this door, do the cut a piece of plexiglass to size. It'll slide actually just right in place, and it'll hold this monitor surround in place as well. So it will serve the double purpose. And then after that we can move on to resizing or cutting a slot into that door, and I think we'll pretty much be done. We'll be ready to move this into the arcade room. It's already functional, so anyway, yeah, let's put this door back together. All right, there you go. We've got our door back in. I powered the game here. Lovely bright kind acceptors. Interesting. I've never seen, I don't have an orange one, so it's cool to have something different. I probably need to recenter the little piece of paper in there, but do I? Doesn't matter. But anyway, so I'm gonna have to find a key thing here. Oh, I got some epoxy stuff falling here that I used. I need to clean that. But other than that, yeah, happy out. I'm just going to put a temporary, I have a broken one, but it doesn't lock, but just to hide that hole. And then I'll get, I have to get a few in time anyway for all my other games. Let me clean this little epoxy thing that's dripping here. And next I'm going to work on the opaque plexiglass cover. You can see here it's kind of bright. It's a bit too bright. I could lower the intensity of the monitor, I suppose, but that's not the point. It actually just needs to be toned down a bit, and it'll hide some of these corners and all that. It's all about just getting the monitor to actually pop out more. So at the end, it'll actually work out much better. Anyway, let's do that. All right, so I got my plexi cut to size. Oh, actually, that's perfect. I thought it'd be a bit more fiddling here. And this should actually, can it go a bit higher? No, I think we're okay here. There you go. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, this is what I mean. It just makes things a bit, not dull, but just more uniform, and yeah, I like it. And it's easier on the eyes as well to have that shade. So actually, the light reflection isn't helping, and the refresh rate. But yeah, no, I think it looks much better like that. So what's next? Well, next is to. Oh, I need to put a lock here. But next is to refit or cut a hole in this door here. So I've already gone ahead and sort of did a very rough outline. You can't see it with my fingers in the dust here of where I need to cut on the outside edges, more or less. I'm going to retrace that a bit better, squarer, and cut that, see if I can actually just put the door and close it, and then we'll put a small just box, or maybe if I can find a piece of plastic that would actually just have a sort of a round shape like that. I'll see what I have. Maybe a section of pipes, like PVC pipes or something like that, cut to shape and size. That might work. Anyway, let's cut it. Alright, so I got my slot cut here with the monitor sticking out. So I'm going to put a cover here. I did a very, very stupid mistake. I actually cut with the wrong way. So essentially I should have cut here, because the grill were actually on the outside. They should be on inside. So I took them off and just going to put them back on the inside. I'll do the same thing with this thing here. Silly me. But it all works out. Doesn't matter actually. And so for here, I'm gonna try and I have this old thing that I've kept. It's a cutlery tray, but I'm gonna see if I can cut right on the edge this section, epoxy that in place, and hopefully that'll work. Let's see. I'm gonna use my Dremel tool. Okay, so this is wet right now because I've just been cleaning it, but this is what I got. I've sanded it to score it. I'm gonna paint this black, but yeah, this will do nicely actually. Do you know what? Once it's painted black, we'll get a better idea of what it'll look like. I'll probably round the edges here as well, but I do like it. Okay, let's dry this, paint it, and then see what if it's. Yeah, I like it. Let's go for it. Well, there you go. I think that actually works. It's kind of funny looking, but actually from all angles, really, it works. Pac-Man, if you remember, Pac-Man has a big bulge at the back. I don't think there's much else I could have done. The other option was to build a kind of wooden box, but I think this is actually quite tidy, and yeah, nobody will see it anyway. It's just for it's for the sake of my my own mind and head, and just to protect that monitor. That'll work. Here on the front, I actually got a key lock. I had a spare one from another cab, so do you know what? This is actually ready to move in the game room. So let's do that. Right, folks. Well, here it is. I've actually decided to put it sideways. As you walk in, this is the first thing you see in this room. Let me just get a bit more light in here. But yeah, there you go. So as you walk in, this is the first thing you see. And if I may say so myself, it looks pretty cool. Do you know what? I got used to the. I wasn't sure about that Romstar. That Romstar decal here. Actually, that needs a clean. I need to do that. But I wasn't sure about that Romstar decal. But it actually looks okay on it, and I'm glad I got a use for it. Yes, that cab that side needs a clean. I'll do that next. But there you go. This is the end of this project, folks. 1942. I was going to say restoration, but this is more of a conversion from a beat-up poker cab that I got for, what was it, 50 quid? Not bad. I got a new door for it. The door on there was all busted. We got new repro artwork, and I made a custom control panel from 1942 based on the design. And Ollie at arcadeartshop.com did a stellar job again on the artwork. Thank you very much, sir, for the great work you do for all the arcade enthusiasts. Decided to keep the T-molding again because it was actually okay. I mean, you can see this cab has its share of scratches, but I don't mind that. I like a bit of history in the cab, so that's cool. There's a few blemishes here and there, but I'm perfectly fine. I think there's a few cigarette burns here and there. I'm perfectly fine with that. It just gives it a bit more character. It was the same with the Bomb Jack cab, and unfortunately, it was just too far gone on this cab. But I mean, on the Kung Fu Master, the entire cab came out really well. I'm so happy with this one as well. But there you go. This is a 1942 restoration. This was a cool project. I'm glad I got this. I wasn't sure. Initially I was going to do an R-Type, and then when I came across a couple of 1942 boards, I was like, oh no, I need to do 1942. In fact, I might have another project with R-Type, so stay tuned. We're not done, although we're officially full. There's not much room here. As you see, as you walk in, there's not much room left in here, but doesn't mean I'll stop the hobby. Oh no, we just have to find a way to accommodate these cabs or somewhere else to put them. But I mean, when I can get them cheap like that for 50 quid, or free. I think the Bomb Jack was free, or is it? Yeah, the Bomb Jack was free, or the Kung Fu Master was free. I can't remember. I'm not going to pass them. Anyway, folks, I hope this was interesting. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There's a Discord server if you want to chat, and if you want the channel, there's a Patreon page as well. Folks, thank you for watching. See you next time.